you the type of person who's always had a favorite color, or maybe you always know which colors that you prefer? Whether that is true for you or not, you may not have your own color palette figured out when it comes to the clothes that you wear. This has definitely been the case for me. I know that my favorite colors are blue and pink, but I don't really know which shades of pink and blue suit me best, or even why I tend to prefer muted blues over like really bright royal blues. Recently, I've been diving headfirst into color theory, and I know that this was a bit of a trend like last year, and I'm a little bit late on the train, but I have watched so many YouTube and TikTok videos covering this topic, and I've also read a lot of articles. However, going through all of this, I feel like as someone with very little previous knowledge, I had a bit of a hard time finding out my subseason. Surely I should be able to figure out my own color palette without seeing a professional color consultant, because let's face it, I have a degree in fashion marketing. I've worked in marketing. I work with like graphic design and layouts, and so I have an eye for colors already, and I don't really think that I need someone else to tell me which colors suit me best, even though I have complete respect for their line of work. That is not the point. The point is just that I want to be able to do this myself and see how far I come. So today, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the basics of color theory. So we're going to be looking at color characteristics, as well as how the 4 and the 12 season systems work. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to tell apart your subseason from all of the others. But before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Louise, and I talk about how to engage with fashion in more conscious and sustainable ways. So let's look at color characteristics. So colors which share the same characteristics as your natural features will look the best on you. But let's look at what characteristics colors can have in order to determine which ones suit you best. First of all, there are primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. And every other color out there is based on a primary color. So colors can differ in temperature, value, and chroma. And these are all essential aspects of color theory. Temperature is used to describe how warm or cold a color is. A color is cold or warm depending on how much yellow or blue it contains. Yellow is considered warm and blue is considered cool. So the more yellow a color contains, the more warm it is. And at the same time, the more blue a color contains, the cooler it is. Pure green contains equal parts of yellow and blue, and red contains neither. So red and green are neutral colors. Value refers to the lightness or the darkness of a color. It's often described on a grayscale from white, which is high value, to black, which is low value. Light colors are created by adding white, and they are known as tints, while darker colors are made by adding black, and they are called shades. Chroma is also known as saturation or intensity. This describes the purity of the vividness of a color. So in other words, it's either bright or muted. So the more muted a color is, the more gray it appears. Clear, vibrant colors are highly saturated and far from appearing gray. But as saturation decreases, a color moves closer to gray and it becomes more muted. Adding gray to a color makes it called a tone. So to summarize, we don't just have colors, we have hues, tints, shades, and tones. And this can be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to explain how this applies to you in the next part. Which color characteristics works best for you depends on your skin tone, your hair color, and your eye color. When you buy makeup for your face, you want to find a shade that matches your skin tone. So you have probably experienced at one point buying the wrong shade of foundation. It's either too warm or it's too dark for your face. Or you may favor a bright red lipstick over like a dark plum because you just feel that it suits you better. This is because some colors will naturally enhance your features better than others. And all of this has to do with your natural coloring. So to figure out your color seasons, there are 3 aspects to look at: your skin, your hair, and your eyes. Let's start with skin. Your skin's undertone is either warm, cool, or neutral. Warm undertones typically go well with earthy and warm colors like red, orange, and yellow. Cool undertones pair nicely with blue, purple, and green. You can also have a neutral undertone, in which case your best color pairings are neither warm nor cool. Your skin undertone also has to do with which metals you look best in. So gold, which is yellow, suits warmer undertones, whereas silver has a cooler tone which suits cooler undertones. Because I'm a neutral, cool undertone, I can fit both silver and gold, but because I'm cool and not warm, I tend to look better in silver. Moving on to your hair color. So your hair color is also either dark, light, cool, or warm. Warm toned hair like golden blonde, auburn, they complement warm palettes, whereas cool toned hair like ash brown or black lean towards cool palettes. Then there's eye color. Bright blue, green, or hazel eyes often work well with high chroma palettes because they are very vivid in color, while soft browns or gray eyes pair beautifully with more muted tones. Also, don't forget about contrast. If you have dark hair and light skin, you're high contrast, which works very well with bolder colors. But if your features are closer in tone, like you have light hair and fair skin, you're probably low contrast, meaning that softer shades will suit you a lot better. In color theory, it's often argued that very few people look good in black because it's such a high contrast color to your face, but I am a low to medium contrast and I tend to look good in all black outfits, at least in my opinion. So I don't completely agree with this, but let me know what you think. Now it's finally time for the fun part. Let's look at the seasons. The 4-season theory is a great starting point for understanding your natural palette because it uses the main characteristics of warm versus cool, which is temperature, and light versus dark, which is value, to determine your season. So here we have the 4 color seasons explained. We have winter, which is cool plus dark. We have spring, which is warm plus light. Then we have autumn, which is warm plus dark. And lastly, summer, which is cool and light. But as with all things, it's not that simple. The 12-season theory adds a 3rd characteristic, chroma, to determine your season. And if you remember, chroma is how muted or vivid a color is. This is actually a more accurate system because, for example, summer is not just cool and light, but it's also muted. Here we have the 12 seasons explained. So just listening to the 4 seasons, you might have an easy time figuring out your season because there's just 4 of them and it's quite easy to place yourself in one of the 4 categories. Now you may have figured out your skin tone, your hair color, and your eye color, but figuring out your sub-season can be a bit complicated. I like to think of it this way. Your sub-season is all about your most dominant feature. If you're summer, for example, like me, you need to think about which of the following characteristics stand out most about you. Is it that you are light, cool, or muted? In my case, I have neutral to cool undertones. I have cool hair and muted eyes. So even if I've dyed my hair brown this year, I have gone away a little bit from my natural color palette. So my natural hair color is a bit of an ash blonde with some golden undertones. So it's hard to tell maybe from this video, but I'm going to show you some photos. So I wouldn't say that I am predominantly cool or predominantly muted, but I would say that the most striking feature out of these three is probably that I am light, because I have very fair skin and I have light hair. In my amateur opinion, I am therefore a light summer. And this might be wrong. Don't take my word for it, because I'm just starting to learn about color theory and color analysis. But basically what this has taught me is that I should never have dyed my hair really dark brown, because it just doesn't, it kind of competes with my natural features. I've also been wondering why I haven't really felt like myself in this hair color, and this all kind of explains it. And this is not to say that you should never color your hair or you should only stick to your natural colors. If you want to experiment and have fun with it, of course you should go for it. This is just a little bit interesting in my case, I felt like, because I wasn't sure why some colors worked for me and some didn't. So there are many ways that you can figure out your season, and there are apps, there are videos, there are articles that you can read. I'm also a bit curious actually to get my analysis done professionally, because even if I am pretty sure that I am a light summer, it would be nice to get it confirmed. And in the meantime, if you want to learn more about this topic, I have inserted some links down in the description box down below for you to read. But I also hope that this video may have helped you coming closer to figuring out your color palette. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below, and maybe if you've got your color analysis done, how was it? Was it what you were expecting it to be? As always, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to my channel, or share this video with a friend. I make new videos every week, so I wish you the best week ahead, and I will see you again next time. Bye!